He's good in Justified. If you want like a show that's all out and it's multiple seasons of a good TV show.
I do not.
All right.
No, what's it about? I'm kidding. I don't care.
Okay. Oh, little shifting gears. Do you know that Peter Jackson is making more Lord of the Rings movies?
I saw that he was making it's kind of like a spin-off from the Middle Earth world, right? It's like the hunt for Gollum.
Gollum will be in it. So he's producing, and you know there's going to be more than one. They're doing another trilogy. He's producing, and Andy Serkis is directing. Andy Serkis is the guy who does Gollum.
Yeah.
The last movie,
in case you didn't know, Taylor.
I know.
Look, I have a lot of he does a lot of characters. He's very
Peter Jackson
expressive.
was the director, Taylor.
Yes. Andy Serkis is the guy who crawls around by a green screen and is like,
I'm just having fun, Kyle. I know you know. I know what you're doing.
He's not a good director. His last movie was the Carnage sequel. Did you see the Carnage sequel?
No, I didn't. I've never heard of this.
He's a Spider-Man villain who got 2 movies, and Woody Harrelson's in the second one, and it's just
sounds
real bad. It was a shitty movie, so I'm worried about. I don't think of Andy Serkis as a fucking movie director. I think of him as the mocap guy who's really good at that.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So you're saying, I thought you were saying Peter Jackson was not a good director based on his recent stuff. Was it Andy Serkis who made Carnage?
Andy Serkis made Carnage.
Oh,
Peter Jackson directed Lord of the Rings and did a spectacular job of it. And then we can all forgive him. He did so well in Lord of the Rings that I forgive him for The Hobbit. I'm not going to rewatch those ever again, but I forgive him. It's water under the bridge, Pete. And I'm hoping
King Kong, maybe?
He did King Kong with Jack Black, and that was kind of
thumbs up or down. Tell me.
I never rewatched it, and so I guess it wasn't worth rewatching.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to see that. I don't know why that movie.
You know how like characters get so drilled in your head, like you were talking about Rocky. For you, because you've watched all the Rocky movies a bunch of times, like that's Stallone. Like that is who Rocky is. Like with a character like Aragorn, because I saw a little whisperings that Aragorn was going to be in this Lord of the Rings movie. Like Viggo Mortensen is Aragorn.
I hear you. Is he too old to be Aragorn?
Very much so. He's an old man.
Well, isn't he like 60 something?
Yeah.
I don't know how old he's supposed to be in the show. It
doesn't matter how old he's supposed to be. It's what he's supposed to look like. He's supposed to look like a Dunedain fucking Ranger King.
Unless he's playing the end of his life, which is what, like 180 years old or something.
We saw the end of his life. We've seen what he looks like the day he dies. They showed the future, him laying there. He's way too old to be that guy now. He's way too old to play the corpse of King Theoden.
I know, you're right. Well, it wasn't King Theoden. It was Aragorn Elisar.
You're
but
King Aragorn. Yes.
Yeah. But like I'm gonna be so biased against whoever they pick for Aragorn just because
Taylor, there's lots of people with bad teeth.
Bradley Cooper.
Dude, if you want to see me finally take to the street and protest something, it would be Bradley Cooper.
He's the guy that sings with Lady Gaga, right?
Dude, I don't even know if
make Lord of the Rings 4 a musical. Boom. Solve your problem.
Dude, I don't even know if I could say.
There are a lot of songs already.
If they made Ryan Reynolds Aragorn, I don't think YouTube Terms of Service allows me to say what I would do.
Who do you want to be Aragorn?
All right, Taylor, it's time to change the world.
It's time to change the world.
Taylor, is there anyone?
I don't know what this is.
Screwing something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're putting
the final propane tank in my mechanism or whatever.
I thought it was just screwed a grenade onto the launching mechanism.
I don't even know who I would like. I don't know who I would like because the only people from that movie who still look young enough to like, and the problem would be like Aragorn would be playing a version of himself younger than the version that was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like
Gollum, it's a prequel. Right.
Yeah. So Gollum dies at the end of The Return of the King. And so he's not a part of it. This would be like Aragorn investigating Gollum, much earlier because Gandalf had a thought that, hey, this guy's pretty fucking shady.
I hate that they're even that and it's so stupid what they're doing. We're not going to like these movies. These aren't going to be good movies. They're not going to be good movies. And here's why. The reason the first trilogy was so goddamn good, a big part of it is that Peter Jackson had like 5 years of prep, not 1 or 2. They were that's why everybody's wearing a full set of fucking real armor in those scenes. Every character, when you look closely at their armor, you're like, oh my god, like this guy ties his knot a little differently. I bet somebody wrote some pages about why he ties that knot that way. Like everything looks so good. Even the Uruk-hai, they all have the same basically like copy paste armor, but it's
their
every set looks real
because they're all like active. Like it's prosthetics.
There
on there.
Aren't a lot of rubber masks. There aren't. You put rubber masks on the guys in the third row for sure. Even in Lord of the Rings, I'm sure. But you don't notice it because they're way the fuck in the third row. The guys up close have prosthetics. They have like what do you call it? Not fixtures.
That shit that they put on their face. So like add like a goblin nose
shit
or
on
like
their face.
Scary teeth or whatever.
They've been sitting in a makeup chair with a professional working on them. They don't want to spend that money and put that in. I don't think. Another part of the way the trilogy got made is they tricked Weinstein. And at one point they're like, oh yeah, it's 1 movie and then it's 2 movies. And then he's like, actually, I filmed 3 fucking movies. But he filmed like a little, he filmed it in such a way that they had to give him 3 movies. I know Weinstein had a lot of weird opinions about how the trilogy or the Lord of the Rings should be brought to the screen. And he was going to ruin it.
Well, thankfully rather.
Yeah, that character's based on him on purpose.
What character?
Gothmoth or whatever.
Oh, Gothmog.
Is based on Weinstein,
the orc who oversaw the capture.
Yeah, he's got that deformed face and that pus dripping out of his eyelid and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and bring up a picture of Gothmog, Zach.
And then if you search Gothmog Harvey Weinstein, you'll probably find a side by side of the two.
Yeah,
because Weinstein has that severely pockmarked face.
Zach, I'm so go ahead and quickly Photoshop Gothmog sitting in a suit in court.
I am a victim of human lies. The Easterlings have heavy influence in these courts.
The Easterlings.
I like the Lord of the Rings universe.
All right, I guess I never put those pieces together because I didn't know who Harvey Weinstein was until fucking 5 years.
The eyes, wow.
That's funny.
So you think this is them mocking Harvey Weinstein?
It is. It's 100% them mocking it. It's
the universe is good. I wish they'd just do a fresh story. I don't know what it needs to be, but like we've established the rules
from the first age. Like that, not everything has to be the War of the Ring. Like they could go way back. There's so much canon to go through for Lord of the Rings that they could do if they wanted to. But Kyle's 1,000,000% on point that like they wouldn't do the prep work and they wouldn't stay true to the lore in the way that clearly the Lord of the Rings producers and directors like were obsessed with that. Like at the time that they did it, Saruman, Christopher Lee, he was old enough to have had conversations with Tolkien. Like he talked to him when he was a young man, like acting
about
in
Lord of the Rings.
About Lord of the Rings. And so it's like, that must've been awesome for, I think I even saw like an extra cause I've watched every bit of content about Lord of the Rings there is, where Peter Jackson's talking and he's like, every once in a while I have a, thought about the lore and what should happen and what shouldn't. And so I'd go to Christopher and I'd ask him because he loved the story so much. And Christopher and his, commanding voice or whatever would be like, that's not what he mentioned when I spoke to him of it in 1931. And it's like, all right, Christopher, I trust you. You're also 6'7".
Tolkien hated the queers.
He did. I'm barely okay with Gandalf. Like
a blue screen, stir Ian McKellen into my presence. I promise you that. Yes. Not share a room with that poof.
That poof.
Oh, is he gay? The actor in real life?
Yeah, Sir Ian McKellen is gay, and he's
one of the good ones. Woody, don't worry.
Is he like super close with Patrick Stewart? Yeah,
he's also gay.
I've seen them together.
He's not gay.
He's not gay.
I think he's.
I've seen so many pictures of them super close. I think he's at least curious.
I think that's his best friend of for a long time.
Yeah, it is.
I've also seen Patrick Stewart's wife. She's like he's old as shit, but she's significantly younger than him. Like not a decent amount younger than him.
Dude, I didn't even think Sir Ian McKellen is too old to be Gandalf in this too.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Look,
I play Gandalf other than Ian McKellen. He killed it. He's my favorite.
You know who does this right? The Star Wars universe. Not everyone is a home run, but they will just like fire up all new storylines, all new ships in the same universe, same rules.
Kyle looks like someone just came in the room and farted.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think Kyle likes what is the new one called with Pike? Brave New World, maybe?
I don't know what that is.
It's definitely not Brave New World.
Oh, shucks. It's the new live action Star Trek. It's the guy who preceded Kirk.
Oh, Star Trek. I could have sworn you said Star Wars.
I didn't mean
maybe
to.
I just heard wrong.
Maybe, yeah.
In any case, I have real strong opinions about Star Trek. I do not like the Kelvin timeline or whatever.
Oh, Zach said I said Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't like the trilogy. When it came out, I really liked the first one. Something about that fucking like the AC/DC or whatever the fuck's playing, or Green Day or whatever's playing when he's stealing that
You're doing movies
at the beginning.
I'm doing the TV show.
Yeah,
you set me on to it.
Strange New Worlds, the new Star Trek TV show, is very, very good, and I feel like it respects the OG shit well enough, and as well as like the timeline well enough, because Pike was the captain of the Enterprise before Kirk, and the thing that's alluded to often in the show, his future injury is a big part of like the first couple episodes of the OG 1967 Star Trek original series. Yes, you're right. I love that, and it is this shining little star, this aberration in the world of media where it like somehow it got through a studio system or a network system, and they made a good show without every character fucking the one next to them in the ass and giggling like a schoolgirl the whole way through. No one's fucking talking about their genitals. No one's crying. It's pretty fucking good.
Star Trek can fire up a show, and you have to go into it with an open mind, because sometimes it's really going to be a miss, and sometimes it's going to be a grand slam. This one, Strange New World, I think you said it was called, is in a grand slam to me so far. I think the animated one. Damn it, I'm retarded
Upper Decks.
tonight.
Lower Decks. I'm sorry, Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, yeah. I think Lower Decks is a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
I love it. I love it so much. I like the voice actors that work on it. I like seeing them, you know, in the live action version of them discuss the show. That's another one that's like, I don't know. I really, really
is Star Trek pulled from like books or lore?
Gene Roddenberry is the creator. He just created it. It is his vision of this utopic future that where every problem had been solved. And so, and it's sort of
it's a show. It's not like an old book series or something.
No. Okay. It began with the original series with Kirk and, you know, the Enterprise.
That makes it easier then, because you have a lot more kind of freedom to play.
The directive that he was given was to create a Western in space.
Okay.
That's what
I brought it up as an
Gunsmoke
example of what Lord of the Rings should be. Like, okay, we have a universe, we have some established rules, we know the good guys, the bad guys, the races. Now go tell a new story I haven't heard before. It can be before the one I know, it can be after the one I know, same universe. Go tell me a story, and
I want Gothmog. I want Gothmog. I want a story about I always forget the spider's name.
Shelob.
I want some Shelob content. You could make sexy Shelob, because you know Shelob appears not only as that big grotesque thing, but she can become this like temptress. That would be so cool. And maybe like there's a moment where she flashes like those weird teeth are in her mouth. Those little sideways.
Does she become a sexy chick in the book?
I'm pretty sure.
She does not in the book.
No, I don't think
no. She's just a spider. A very evil and ancient spider.
But Kyle's version's pretty cool too. I like it.
I don't want to like. I would like maybe like I could deal with like an anthology style series if there was more. If it was true to the lore and it all plugged into like making sense with the, you know, the War of the Ring, the Lord of the Rings story, like at the end. The reason everybody hated and, you know, that show on Amazon flopped despite having so much money is because they just ruined a lot of the lore. They destroyed it.
We're both right. I'm thinking of Middle Earth Shadow of War, the video game, in which Shelob can transform into a human woman. But you're right. In canon, she cannot.
Yeah, I didn't
she's
know
one of the Gaia or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that what is Gandalf? He's a Gaia or something, like a Mylar.
Oh, the Valar.
Valar, something like that. In any case, I agree with Woody 100%. I would be okay with a smaller story set within the universe, like everybody doesn't have to be Legolas or Gimli, or you don't need a power team. But what they should really do is make something fucking else. It's not going to be good. And
they're not going to do a true job to it.
I have a hard time with prequels because I know, where we're going with this. I'm trying to think of the other prequel that's out now.
House of the Dragon. How close?
Yeah. House of the Dragon. While I am into it, and I'm looking, it ended on a big cliffhanger. You probably remember where there was a dragon fight between the two young boys, and one of them didn't make it. I'm wanting to see what happens next. That first episode is going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But there's a little part of me that's always like, I know this is all for naught. Like, I know how this ends.
It's too slow.
This bloodline
is that 2 years ago, though?
It's got to be at least that.
That's what. So it seems to me that when you get your first season of a show, and then it's 2 years before you get season 2, but now they're on a roll because they got that like extra round of funding. That's going to be the case with Fallout. It's going to be 2 years before we get more Fallout, and then but in those 2 years,
I wish you were wrong.
They've got everything ball rolling now, though, because they proved that how much money that thing can make. The video games are being advanced. There's going to be video game tie-ins. They're definitely moving the ball forward with everything Fallout. It's a big win.
Yeah, I liked Fallout the TV show. The last episode I thought was a disappointment.
Really? I thought it was. I thought
it was fine. Like
fine.
I won't rewatch it, but like it was fine.
I did rewatch it. I watched the whole season twice. I'll agree that the final episode could have been bigger, more climactic. Maybe we learn a little bit more.
Or maybe you learned a little bit sooner. It was like the last 15 minutes they explained the whole season to you, in my memory. And I'm I wish there were clues more so.
I liked that. I liked that where we're sitting at the dinner table, as it were, and everything comes out all the cards come out on the table. I enjoyed that scene. I really liked the scene where the ghoul, played by Walton Goggins, has that whole speech. He's like, "Bet you feel like a big man in that suit." I know, because I used to wear one myself. And it's like goes on a little rant about how they've got a weak spot, and then he shoots the guy and kills him. I love that scene. I like everything with Walton Goggins in general. I've always really enjoyed that actor. He's good. I
like his big toothy smile.
Yeah, he's got a very big toothy smile. He's good in Justified. If you want like a show that's all out and it's multiple seasons of a good TV show.
I do not.
All right.
No, what's it about? I'm kidding. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm like, he just died? I thought that was so long ago.
Bro, the real captain went down with the ship. He was a boss.
Yeah.
All right. He didn't play. Yeah.
No, it was the real cat. He died at, what is it? 100, 138?
Really? He lived?
He was Japanese. That's what it explains.
Listen, I might
138 doesn't even do it. He had to be like 140.
Yeah, he'd have to be even older.
The worm.
Yeah, and he was an old man then. He's like 60.
But the Theoden actor.
Theoden.
Great.
Yeah, for sure. He was crucial to that movie. He was a big part of it. If you had a weaker role there, it wouldn't have played. And you need him to die in that story too. That consolidate power. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He gave that speech that was one of the highlights of the entire series. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gave.
Yeah, I got all these blank stares. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, I was trying to think which one you were referring to, because he has the one in
taps on everybody's swords.
Yeah, the one of the Battle of Pelennor Field where he does that.
That's not my favorite.
The best one is like
before they ride out.
The Before They Ride Out is also very good. You're talking about Helm's Deep now. Yes, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
The where he's having his armor put on by Hannafin or whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah.
And
long-haired guy.
Yeah, the long-haired assistant. And it's the "Where's the horse and the rider" speech, and he's talking about he knows that he's about to ride out to his death, and that likely everyone underground who's like the women and children are going to be killed also, but he's not going to go out like a bitch. Like, he's going to go out fighting to the last man. It's so good. So good.
And like the music is building, da da, and then like they don't show them get the horses ready, saddle up. They don't talk about anything. It's just boom, they're on the fucking horses. Open the doors, and then Gimli hits the and they ride through the fucking Uruk-hai. Like I love that they really seem to be handling things well. Absolutely. Once more, the horn of home.
You know what I've come to realize?